Thoughtful banter. Sometimes thoughtful, mostly banter. All the memes.
Back again like we never left.
What's going on, guys? Welcome to the Thoughtful Banter podcast. I'm your host, MAHDI, along here with my wonderful co-host, HUSSAYN.
Yes, sir.
If you guys have been listening to the podcast since day one, you guys mean a lot to us. Keep listening. We appreciate it. We're on Spotify, YouTube, and enjoy this episode where we dissect and break down our personal opinions about the red pill community.
Red pill community, MGTOW, men going their own way, something like that.
I'm gonna get right into this garbage. I'm gonna call it garbage because I was in the community, not MGTOW. Thank God.
Isn't there like overlap?
There is definitely overlap. So I'll break it down for those of you guys who do not know what red pill is. Red pill is a name that they give themselves. You know, it's a reference to the Matrix, as you could probably guess. But essentially, what the red pill community is a group of men who see and understand the reality
of female nature,
of sexual nature. You know, and there's like really a sexual world that is not seen. And I'm saying it. I'm kind of being tongue in cheek when I'm saying it. But the truth is, there is reality to red pill, if you are blue pilled, I guess, for a matter of speaking, right? You do see guys who are just like getting cheated on consistently. Those guys exist, and it's like something not right. If you keep getting cheated on, the only consistent factor in your life in regards to cheating is you.
Yeah, and that's the thing that frustrates me, is because they will have like some salient points and like some good points, not just about female nature, but like human nature in general.
Yeah.
And then there's just so much like extra BS that's added into it that I just absolutely can't get behind. And I think a lot of times what they do, instead of like creating these men that are successful in their life, understand their purpose, and know how to navigate dealing with women, which is what they presumably want, a lot of times they just end up creating more incels.
Yeah, that's right on. And for those of you who don't know, incels are involuntary celibates.
Yes.
And
they like have a hate for women.
It's one of the most toxic, pathetic communities on the internet, and it's really sad. And I don't mean to say like, I know I said that in a mean way, but it's also like I don't think anyone, I don't wish I'm my worst enemy to be an incel, obviously.
A lot of them have like really like pent up legitimate resentment just for the existence of women.
It's because I mean, there's a lot of reasons I can think of. Jubilee had a great video where it was ask an incel a question, and I think that guy was a great example of what an incel was. I think that's why he was there on Jubilee. You know, like they obviously auditioned hundreds, maybe thousands of incels. But I think one really big thing about the incel community, like what makes an incel, is this feeling of entitlement that woman somehow you deserve them, and also just being a weak-minded man. Like you hear these guys, basically their life story is that something bad happened and they just gave up after that. I cannot tell you how many guys have been rejected. Like everyone has been rejected. I don't know who hasn't been rejected. I don't know who has been rejected and then identified with that, made that their life identity. Like you have to be so stupid. You have to be so stupid and weak-minded to get rejected by a woman once and then think, well, that's life. Well, that's life. Like improve yourself. Like this is a problem. We can get straight to the point. This is a problem with red pill, with incels, with MGTOW. These guys have bad experiences with specific kinds of women.
Specific types of women, yeah.
Specific types of women. And they refuse to acknowledge, first of all, that fact.
Yeah.
And second, they refuse to acknowledge hypergamy in a optimistic way. Instead, they look at it as a negative way and ignore their own. Like, I don't see these incels talking about ugly chicks. They don't talk about ugly girls. They're mad because they got rejected by the 10 when they are 2s. When they are 2s.
Yeah. And the thing that, I mean, you kind of hit the nail on the head. They have these, I guess, these red pill, and there are ones that are better than others, but this is a general statement. I'm not naming anyone specifically right now, but my issue again is like what you said. They have these interactions with specific women that attend specific environments, right? So the women that are out in clubs and the women that go to regularly go to bars to get attention from men, to seek attention from men. Yeah. And they have bad experiences with these type of women and then make blanket statements about the nature of every single woman that lives on earth. And not only that, I was thinking about this today. They're only talking about women that live in America.
Yeah.
Right? There's like an entire world of women outside of this country. I mean, that's generally an American thing to just think the world is America.
Yeah, that is definitely an American mindset. What's
There
outside?
are thousands of women in this country. I mean,
Paradise
around the
Island,
world,
right?
I'm sorry, that have nothing to do with American culture, and I'm sure are completely different, and they'd have completely different experiences with those types of women.
And I think a major point to point out with incels, they really are. They create an entire victim mentality with their situation, and you see these figures in the incel community who are not incels, who, for like, I'm trying to say this the best way I can, who have as many options as they want. These guys are not incels. These guys look right, they act right, they at least appear to be confident. They definitely have money.
Wait, you're talking about the red pill?
Yeah, people in the red pill community, people like Steph is Cold, people like the Roommates podcast, Alpha Male Mentality, whatever his name is.
Alpha Male Strategy.
Yeah, the name is so cringy. But no diss to him. I think he has some good content on his channel, to be fair.
I think all those guys have some good to say.
Absolutely. But all these guys, none of them are incels. But the thing is, like, they for sure feed these men things that promote incel behavior. They say, it's so hard for you as a man. Men have it the hardest in the dating game, period fact.
Women, they are born with aim assist.
Women have it easy, G.
Yeah, they're definitely playing into this male victimhood mentality.
So much.
Very much. Very much. And that's another one of my issues with them. Also, they take general statements about, I think, what is generally considered human nature, and then they'll form this whole argument based on this attribute of humans in general, but they'll only attach it to women. So they'll be like this. They'll say something like this. Unless a woman is gaining anything from a relationship, she doesn't want to have it. And I'm like, that's how people are.
I hope that's how you are.
Everyone has a
That's how
relationship.
you are, right?
Wants a relationship where they're
Yeah.
getting something from the other person. You know, it's not
That's
just
so
like
true.
I don't know what world you're living in where
Yeah.
that's not the case.
It's just a
Or
jump right on
they'll
that
say
point.
or they'll say things like I was watching one of them today. They'll say things like, you know, the more independent women get, the more used to being independent they are, and so it's harder for them to get into relationships with other people.
Men are the exact
because
same.
they've had that independence. And I'm like,
What?
that is literally an issue that
With men.
everyone has.
That's literally guys, especially. By the way, like you see
Everyone
single
has.
guys who get used to who are like dating single guys. It's really hard for them to get married.
Yeah.
And once they're married, it's really hard for them to stay
Because
married.
you've been set in your ways and
Yeah.
you've developed your habits by yourself this entire time. Another reason why you should get married young, by the way.
Another reason. We're not going to be talking about marriage too much today. I'm kind of sick of it. One thing I want to say directly to that point is there are such thing as incel women. People don't understand that. Like, okay, what we think of an incel man is like this guy who's like 27, went to community college for 5 years, has no degree, has nothing going for him, is broke, has a weak body, weak mind, weak bank account. And what's the opposite of that? It's that fat lady who's been living with her parents, who didn't have a social life, who is in the exact same situation. What is the situation? You are sexually unattractive, and no one would ever want to be with you. That is the situation. That's what it is. And maybe it looks a little bit different from man to woman. These incel guys think they're alone. No, what makes you an incel, what makes her an incel, is the fact that you are unattractive, you lack social skills, and you haven't done anything with your life.
So I was watching this one video. It was called like the 4 Horsemen of Game or something like that. And it was 4 of these red pill YouTubers, right? And someone asked a question, how do you find your purpose? And this is maybe the good part of what they say, because a lot of them talk about finding your purpose, finding something that motivates you, that you can work towards always. But then they got this question, and the answer was very unsatisfactory. So it was like, how do you find your purpose? How do you know what your purpose is? They were basically like, well, you know, if your purpose is to, you know, fix houses, fix houses. If your purpose is to play sports, play sports. And this gets to like the root of the problem, which is ultimately, if you have all this stuff divorced from God, divorced from like a religion, like something like a set, very concrete foundation, you can't really have any super clear purpose. If your purpose is to fix houses, for example, like the dude was saying, I mean, this is never gonna happen. But like, if that ever ran out, you would then need a new purpose, right? If your purpose is something that's finite, eventually when it runs out, you're gonna need a new purpose.
Which is, to be fair, I think, in my personal opinion, the best red pill, they're not strictly red pill. I think the best people who occupy the red pill space are probably the roommates podcasts
Mhm.
because I respect God-fearing men. No cap. And I like how they talk about God. I like how Hafif, am I saying his name right? Hafiz will just bust out the Bible, and he would just pause, bring me the Bible, and he was just quoting that joint. I respect that. I love that, and I think there needs to be more of that in the red pill space because just like you said, these men are like, these men have millions or thousands and thousands of men looking up to them who are incels, who are eating this content. And what this content tells them is that you're an incel, be better. That's not a bad message. But then it's, these people are looking to you for guidance.
Mm-hmm.
So then we look at the guy making the content, and he's just a dude. He's just a dude who maybe knows 5% more than the incel and applies the information, which is a better situation to be in than the incel. But however, he is still lacking.
Yeah.
He can't tell you what to do with your life. No YouTuber. That's the thing. This is the guru problem as well in general. How can someone know what is good for you? How can someone give you what's good to you? You have to try your best to implement good lifestyle choices and good ways of thinking, but I can't tell you what to do with your life.
Bro, that's why they have the private sessions, don't you know?
Oh yeah.
Pay them money, you get a one-on-one personal phone call. That's why,
I think those private sessions. I mean, I think a private session could be more useful, but then again, I highly doubt a lot of the guys who offer private sessions know what on earth they're doing.
Yeah.
I mean, even therapists, plenty of people have gone to bad therapists, and they walked away like, "Yo, that did not help my life."
Mm.
It's a very difficult, highly specified skill to be able to talk to someone, hear them, and dissect truth from falsehood, and give them proper information.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, especially if that's not your field of expertise
Especially
at all.
YouTuber, you're just an attractive dude who picks up girls and make money. That's why you're hypergamous. I mean, that's why you are attractive to hypergamous woman. So how can you take someone like if you've already been cold your whole life, right? If you've been attractive, how can you tell a guy who's like has issues like some things are pretty basic.
Mm-hmm.
Like if you're fat, get ripped.
Yeah.
Like that's
get
a
in
good
shape,
thing, right?
yeah,
Get
yeah.
in shape. Any guy who gets in shape, any man or woman gets in shape, you are going to be more attractive instantly.
Mm.
But what if it's something like, you have like severe depression? He's not gonna help you out. He doesn't help you out. Say, feel better, G. And I like to make fun of depression, to be honest. But ultimately, if you have severe depression, you need help.
Yeah, absolutely. And you shouldn't be going to YouTubers for it. You shouldn't be going to red pill YouTubers for it. Definitely not. I think this is just my issue with self-help in general, not just red pill, but all the kind of, this is how you be extra productive, or this is how you, get your life in order.
Mm-hmm.
All of it is like, and I guess this is just the nature of it, and I don't know if it can be helped. It's just something that I've always thought about. All this self-help stuff is reliant on these people not listening to the advice. Or the amount of people that need help being so much greater than the amount of people that don't need help. And so it's like your job is you're helping. I mean, again, I'm not necessarily saying it's a bad thing. It's just something to think about.
Yeah, it definitely is like I would argue that like a doctor's job is to keep you not being sick, but if everyone listened to a doctor, then they wouldn't be sick, so a doctor had no work. But I think it's different. But you get what I'm saying?
I kind of get what you're saying. I think a doctor is a bad example, but yeah. That's why I said, like, I know it is kind of the nature of that stuff. Yeah. It's not necessarily a knock against it, but it's just always like, Like, I wonder if everyone listened to this when we still need this.
Yeah, I think what you're saying is accurate simply because, let me throw out a Mac statistic here. 99.85% of self-help is complete garbage. And what I mean by that is like the person providing it is really trying to sell you something. Mm-hmm. I think a lot of information is like good out there and free, but also these self-help gurus are just marketing information differently. All these guys have read the exact same books. The way of the better man,
the way of the superior man,
the way of the superior man, Rich Dad Poor Dad, anything from Tony Robbins, for God's sakes. Like they've all read the same information. They're all saying it differently.
It's not
Some
just
of the guys haven't even read.
It's not just them though. Even people who, I don't know, God help us, our society considers intellectuals. Like
who?
Like Jordan Peterson.
He's an intellectual, bro. Calm down.
Anyways,
Anyways, he's an intellectual. He just don't agree with
a lot of these people are, again, for this self-help stuff, are repeating things that we have known for a long time. I'm not saying that they're not. That's not necessarily knocking them. That's not necessarily saying that they don't have a purpose. But like what you just said can even extend to those guys that we consider intellectuals.
I mean, how much truth is out there?
A lot.
No, what I mean is like, how much original truth can be created? You know how hard, you know like how many humans, like billions of humans have been alive. Billions of humans have been alive and discovered truths or provided truths.
I guess
it's
maybe
hard to provide
no,
I
you're
found a
right.
unique
You're
truth.
right. And I'm not necessarily saying that they should, but I think my cringe is at the people who are like gassing them up for repeating what they read.
Yeah, but also like information bundled differently. Like I like Jordan Peterson because he said things I already knew. I just liked his delivery. I remember I was really depressed. That was when I was working at Harris.
I mean,
Theater.
that's
I was
like
mad depressed, and it was like 3 a.m. and I just like was stumbling on YouTube, and Jordan Peterson just came out, and it woke up my fidget, bro.
that part of Peterson is probably okay. That's some of the better of him.
That's the best. No, that's the best.
Whatever, but some of his self-help stuff is like super definitely like
you
supporting.
have to become a monster.
Supporting
I don't know what that means.
Stuff like
I still don't know.
like
Capitalism.
I don't know, capitalism, like ideas of
The
capitalism. You know, remaining in the system, not pushing
You know-
against like the system if there's anything wrong with it. You know, you should be making your if your bed's not made, why you protesting?
I don't know why you dare to protest when your bed is a god ugly mess.
exactly. And some of that stuff, it's like
Yeah, shut up. Like, yo, you gotta stop.
some of that
This
stuff
doesn't
is
make any sense.
maybe it's subconscious, maybe it's not a conscious like
Effort of his?
agendizing or
No, I think
effort
he
of his.
has very strong, deeply set, deeply rooted. What's it called when you have like a very deep opinion? That's like.
to say opinions, bro.
No. There's a word that delivers as well.
Beliefs.
No. It's like deeply rooted subconscious. Whatever. He has like very deeply rooted subconscious opinions about certain things that completely cover his lens. Like most people, to be fair. But you see it. And it just bleeds in. It's like when you call him out on it, he doesn't ever have like a really good response when debating.
Yeah. He also says a lot of words and will say nothing and will make vague statements so that you know you can never really catch him on anything.
Those
But
vague
I
statements
digress.
Go hard though, bro.
But I digress.
They go so hard. I think I want to go back to Red Pill and say that I don't think Red Pill is bad. I don't even think. I think a lot of the information is straight like on point. I think the main issue with Red Pill is that people become Red Pill and identify with Red Pill. I think that for me, I need a Red Pill. I got into Red Pill. I got what I needed from it. But then I realized, yo, this isn't like unique. This is just me lacking some common sense or even areas of my own faith. And maybe Red Pill manifested those areas for me, but that's not unique to Red Pill.
I mean, I think that's the reason I mentioned this kind of regurgitated information. Maybe not with Peterson so much, but with the Red Pill scene, a lot of these guys do present it, or at least my perception of it from the outside when I was seeing it was that a lot of these guys were pushing, this is like revolutionary new information.
They're also,
You
a lot
know?
of them are dumb. To be
Yeah,
fair.
that's true.
They just,
I think so. That's
they don't know.
one of my issues. My second issue is the generalizations that they make about female nature. My third issue.
You're just misogynistic, G.
My third issue.
It's not female nature. You're just a sexist.
Absolutely,
You're
and they'll
just
be
a
like, and they'll
sexist,
be
yo.
like, and they'll say stuff like, you know, people who haven't unlocked the real reality of what I've unlocked will say that I'm being misogynistic, but I'm just saying it's nature, bro. I'm just saying it's nature.
You know that show that show London Real?
No.
It's really cringy. Don't even look it up. He's like a red pill menace, whatever. He was interviewing Elliot Halls.
Oh
And
God.
he asked Elliot Halls.
Elliot Halls.
Do you think? First, I don't know why he's asking Elliot Halls. Like he's some kind of politician or philosopher. Do you think women can vote? Should vote? Elliot said. I'm not going to answer that. Elliot, stop. You're not woke. You're just a misogynist.
Yeah, don't even get me started on Elliot Halls. It's
No, like that's like I see Steph say like fire information, and then he's like, you know, women will always need a man, G. And I'm like, what?
or he'll be like,
What?
a woman will never be equal to a man.
He said that, bro. He actually said that, and when he let those words come out of his mouth, I'm like, yo, either I try to give you benefit of the doubt. I think you're a very poor communicator, or G. That's misogynistic, G. Come on,
Yeah,
stop
I
playing
mean,
with stop playing.
men and women are different. And that's very obvious, right?
Like, what are
That's
they going to
very
say to a
obvious.
woman like Oprah? Oprah is like not. I want to be respectful. Oprah is not Cardi B. Oprah is a hardworking woman who worked hard, and a red pill guy would be like, she's against female nature. She's an outlier of female nature. You know, like, what are you gonna say about a lady like Oprah who's not like I don't want to objectify, but like for the sake of conversation, 10 out of 10, walking beauty, who just got her success because she married some rich guy. No, Oprah worked her butt off, and she's a billionaire. And guys treat Oprah the way that red pill guys say all women treat successful men.
Mm-hmm.
For sure. If a guy gets with Oprah, you think Oprah's the one who's getting more out of it? No. It's the guy, because Oprah's a billionaire.
Mm-hmm.
So is that female nature? Is Oprah only masculine? Do they even know what female and masculine nature are? What are they saying? What does this word mean? Female nature. What does that mean? And what is this appeal to nature fallacy as well? Like, how do we know it's female nature or just societal standard?
Yeah, how do you differ? I mean, that's always been like the issue with anything involving like the differences between men, like analyzing the differences between men and women is like, where do you distinguish or where do you draw the line between nature versus nurture? You know, it's very hard to do. And again, that's another one of my issues. Like, these people just make these blatant like generalizations, and it's like, you have no idea what you're talking about. like literally not a single idea.
It's just your opinion.
You're going based off your experiences, which is normal, but say that. Don't say,
G, all women only want money, G. Every single one, G. I'm like, every single one. You met every single one. But like, I believe that personally, I do believe that there are some like truths to being a man, being a woman. I think that there are some ways we should be even if we don't feel like it.
mm-hmm.
To be fair, like I personally believe this. I'm gonna say I believe it because I don't know if it's true or not. I personally don't believe that a man should ever, if he can, should ever be in a position where his woman is the one working and his not. For example,
like she's like providing for him.
She should never, in a relationship, have to be the provider. If they're both making good money, and she does something because she can, that's different. But I don't believe a woman should have to provide for a family. I think that's just a bad place. And I don't care. I don't care if the woman's like, it doesn't bother me at all. At all. It doesn't bother me. I didn't lose attraction. One bit. I don't believe it. I don't. I just simply don't.
I mean, we know that's not the role that she's supposed to have, even like from an Islamic perspective.
Wow. You didn't say her role.
Not the role that she's supposed to have from an Islamic perspective. You know?
Whoa. You said not me. Whoa. I'm not even saying from the Islamic. I'm saying just on a simple attraction, bro. I don't care. Girls will be 100% with the feminism, eat whatever. But when the date check come, and he said, let's split, bro.
Well, I'd agree with you, but my agreement is based on
Islam.
On Islam, yeah.
I don't know why that sounds even more problematic to me. No, I'm playing. I see what you're saying. That I mean, I think if you like read between the lines, it seems like what Islam is trying to say. You know, not that women can't work, it's that you just can't control their money, and they should not have to be the ones who are providing. And
there are balances, and you get I think you get a much clearer understanding of like female nature, masculine nature, the roles of a man, the roles of a woman, the duties of a man, the duties of a woman. You get a way more clear framework from Islam, or even like any of the major Abrahamic faiths, right? Rather than these dudes' experiential like opinions.
Yeah, these experiential opinions that are just watered down tap water of like religion.
Yeah, basically.
I don't understand, like, here's one thing. It's kind of off track. I don't understand how people think anything moral is man-made and came up with. It's just like, dude, that sounds like the Bible to me. You know what I'm saying? Or it sounds like Islam to me. Like anything that's like morally logical. I'm a little tired, so bear with me. But anything that's like morally makes sense or logical, I'm like, bro, let's find a religion. And they'll be like, yeah.
Or from God.
Yeah, find a religion or God. And they're like, yeah, bro, but we don't need religion or God. I'm like, did humans come up with it before religion or God? And then like you look at history, it seems like they didn't.
Morality's completely subjective, bro.
It doesn't make any sense.
But that's a discussion for
different
a very different
Yeah.
podcast.
I see you getting excited. Philosophy major got deep thoughts.
Very different. We could go very deep in that.
I want to talk about that
at
bro.
some point,
Yeah,
inshallah.
at some point. I think wrapping up, right? Let's do some concluding thoughts. I think that red pill. There's nothing wrong with getting into red pill. I think that you should just make sure red pill isn't your freaking religion, and that you have to understand that these guys, a lot of them are just they're all just dudes, and a lot of them are stupid, and they're just talking from their own experiences. And whatever you got to do to be more attractive, be more attractive. Everyone should be more attractive, I think, as long as you're saying your moral boundaries. But don't get caught up in this red pill religion.
Yeah. Everyone has a God, right? Even if they say they don't believe in a God, everyone has a God.
That's
and
deep.
so, again, especially if you are someone that comes from like you have a religion, especially be aware of like falling into the trap of viewing these people, viewing this way of life as a religion, and taking it as your God.
As your prophets, yeah.
Yeah, as your prophets. And MAHDI says, if you want to get into the red pill community, it's fine. I'd say don't. And if you do go into it, like you have to be very, 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 very careful. You can get lost in a lot of the nonsense. I think it's very easy. And a lot of times these guys reside in like big echo chambers, and they're just all reaffirming their own nonsense.
Maybe.
And so I think sometimes on the fringes, maybe there are people that are like tolerable and their net benefit is more than their harm. But when you get too deep, you might want to be careful,
Yeah, I think when you get deep in red pill, you just go to a MGTOW.
Yeah. Which is men going their own way. It's
Men
like
going
completely
their own
independent of women, right?
It doesn't make any sense. It's like it's actually kind of a stupid movement because it's like they're not believing in not being with women. They're just not about being married to women. But it's just like a bunch of hurt guys who got divorced. The entire movement is solely comprised of men who got burned and got their own echo chamber. And it's like, this is why I won't marry a woman anymore. No women are the same. I'm like, ever thought about a prenup? It's not the hardest thing in the world to get a prenup.
Yeah.
And they'll act like no girl ever signed a prenup. Yes, they would. You just are with the wrong girls. You are literally going back to the red pill thing. You are just going after the girls on Instagram who have 10,000 followers. Like, dude, you are dumb. That's all.
Yeah. And yeah, generally my issue of like, oh, this is red pill, like this is the reality of the world, it's just super cringy. So yeah, I wouldn't suggest getting into it. I think if you are someone who, again, like MAHDI said, if you have depression and you're suffering from depression, go see someone who can help you with that. Don't look for Steph is cold,
I think go for Steph. Steph will get you out of depression. Steph is funny.
He is funny, but I don't know if he'd get people out of serious depression,
he
clinical depression.
Yeah.
Anyways,
some people can't get depression though.
Hmm?
Sorry, I was going to line up a stupid joke. You can continue. I'm kind of tired right now.
Yeah, I mean, just don't get sucked in. Again, if you there is some good to take from it. I think, like MAHDI said, the roommates are probably the best of. They're not exactly red pill.
They give me cancer.
They're not exactly red pill, but they're probably the best of that kind of material.
Yeah.
And
because they support religion
and they also bring a lot of
God.
interesting guests on their podcast. Like they've brought therapists, like women therapists and stuff.
It's cool.
So they get different opinions and stuff. But yeah, just don't get sucked in.
Sounds good. You guys can support the podcast by liking this video, sharing it. If you're watching on Spotify, make sure to follow us on Spotify. I don't know. Do you like videos on Spotify? You like podcasts? Do whatever to get the algorithm busting. We see you guys. Check us out on patreon.com/thoughtfulbanter, and we are out.